We are under the spell of the new vampire movie. But for some folks in LA's underground scene, the vampire culture is a year-round devotion.
Hello Internet, you're up way past your bedtime. On tonight's episode of Funky Blink by Night, I wanted to talk about those blood-sucking children of the night. But not in the way that they appear in different media, such as books, movies, or video games, as the evolution of fictional vampires could be a video all to itself. No, tonight I wanted to talk about the science and myth behind quote-unquote real vampires, starting with Sanganarians. These are people who crave and drink blood for medical or spiritual reasons, usually from consenting donors or partners. Sanganarians drink blood as they feel it to be a biological need, and that they need to drink blood to get energy. Most people, even those who drink blood themselves, think the desire to drink blood is purely psychosomatic. Not a lot of scientific research has gone into this disorder. However, some suggest it may have to do with a low iron count in the drinker, and that drinking blood gave them energy. Depending on where you live, this can be illegal, even with the consenting donor, and is punishable with up to 5 years in prison or a $5,000 fine.
No one ever believes them when they say that they feel the need to consume human blood.
I use a clean technique. I'll clean the area on the donor. Honestly, alcohol swabs always leave a funny taste afterwards. I make sure that the blade is new every time. You ready?
Ready.
More often than not, I'll use the back side of the shoulders. I poke a series of holes, and those holes actually provide me enough. Here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
That's not bad. Sweeter taste. Even getting fatty acids again.
Oh, that's good.
I can tell when people are a little bit low on their magnesium and potassium. I can tell when they're not getting enough fatty acids. And because of the flow, I can also tell if they're not drinking enough.
EEP is a rare skin disorder that causes the skin to become very sensitive to sunlight/UV rays. Regular blood transfusion and avoiding direct sunlight can help ease the symptoms. EEP may have been what inspired the original vampire myth back before we had a better understanding of the disorder.
Erythropoietic protoporphyria, or EPP, it's a fascinating disease, I think. So the main symptom that every patient has is intolerance to sunlight. So if you go out and into the sun, you get a terrible burning pain in sun-exposed skin areas. That's the main symptom. And you would think that that is such a dramatic a symptom that you would recognize the disease immediately, but that is unfortunately not the case. You can't see anything. I mean, it's people or a patient describe this pain as holding an iron to the skin. It's a sharp, burning pain, but you can't see anything on the skin.
Lastly, I wanted to talk about a few cases throughout history that maybe aren't real vampire cases, but crimes that fit the profile of such. Fritz Harmon, also known as the Vampire of Hanover, was a serial killer active from 1918 to 1925. He murdered at least 24 young boys, and his method of killing was to bite the victim's neck. Fritz Harmon was sentenced to death and died on April 15, 1925. The Atlas vampire case was a murder that took place in Stockholm, Sweden on May 4, 1932, when a 32-year-old prostitute named Lily Lindenstrom was found dead in her own apartment. She was killed around 2 days before her discovery. She was struck in the back of the head and was drained completely of blood. Detectives noted that a gravy ladle was found at the scene and suspected it was used to drink Lily's blood. To this day, the case has never been solved and remains a mystery. Of course, it's highly unlikely these crimes were obviously real vampires, especially Fritz Harmon's, but I just wanted to sort of talk about the science behind some of the, the disorders that you would associate with vampires, things like not being able to go into the direct sunlight, drinking blood, and really just wanted to look at what a realistic vampire probably was / is. And with that out of the way, I hope you enjoyed tonight's video, and I'll catch you next time.
Tammy Taylor is here right now to tell us what she found. Tammy.
I found a lot of interesting stuff there, Alan. You know, it is a controversial and hard to understand phenomenon. Why would people obsess about death, dress up like vampires, and keep dead things around the house?